Well, hey, everybody. Welcome today to Take a Break with The Gathering. I'm here with my buddy, Adam Baker.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, so we are so glad that you decided to hop on here today and join us. We are in the Gathering Church Online studios today, and it's a great day. It's, kind of looking good outside and maybe a little rainy.
Loving the fall.
What are you going to do? Today, we're talking about friendship. We've been in this series at The Gathering about Proverbs. Oh no, change battery. Look at that. That's my webcam. We're going to get through it. We've been in this series about Proverbs, and we've been talking about Proverbs that have to deal with friendship. Tim Ziegler preached about friendship at the McCausland site and online, and he also did the short gathering this week. Adam preached at Webster about friendship. So before we get into the conversation, let's watch what Tim had to say here.
Real, authentic relationships are difficult to begin and hard to maintain, especially for adults. I don't know if you're feeling that same thing, that real, authentic relationships are hard to begin and difficult to maintain, but that's just something that I've noticed about myself and about our culture lately, and I've been wondering about what the Bible might have to say about that. In Proverbs, we learn that there are things like intentionality and vulnerability that help us establish and make new friends. And that in sustaining those friendships, we invest our time in intentional ways around persons who are going to be able to help us grow closer to God and one another.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Tim. So in Proverbs, we learned that there are things like intentionality and vulnerability that help us establish and make new friends. And when we sustain those relationships, we're investing our time in intention, in intentional ways around persons who are going to be able to help us grow closer to God and one another. Mm-hmm. So here's the question today, and let me put it on the screen for us here. It's a long one. All right. Take a moment to consider your current friendships. How do you feel about the number of friends you have? Let's just start there.
The number of friends.
Yeah. So I want you to answer it. I want people in the chat to answer it. Also, we have some people from St. Charles here and all over the place. Stephanie is here. It's awesome. So yeah, thank you. Great. All right. What do you think?
So I think on Sunday we preached and talked about how research has found that 3 to 5 really good, deep friendships are kind of peak operating point for most of us. If we have that, then we're exponentially happier and more content with our life. And I thought about that. I looked at it and kind of said, I think I do have 5 to 7 people that I would say are like just good, what I call like family of the heart or friends of the heart, who I know I can call at any point or who reach out to me consistently, pour into me. But I have a lot of other people who I call friends, and I mean that. But we may just not have that same deep level. I'm grateful for that, but yeah, it's probably about that number for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to ask, that made me think of this. And by the way, people watching online, please hop in here and answer this question. When included in that number, do you know if that also includes your spouse, or is that different?
No, I think it does include her. She's my best friend, but like she's automatically kind of factored in there.
Right.
So
I was thinking the same thing. Like my wife is my absolute best friend. And, but beside that, I probably have 2 or 3 others. So I don't have like that full 5 range, but I have 2 or 3 other really close friends. Here we go. This is Stephanie. She says, I have a small but mighty circle of 5 folks, and I have quality friendships with, including family and a couple of folks outside of family. As an introvert, that is perfect for me.
Sure.
I love that. My spouse and my mom, she says, are her best friends, much like y'all. Yes. Same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Let's move on. The quality of those relationships. How do you feel about the quality of those relationships?
Yeah, no, I think the reason that I think of them, like when I talked about being people of the heart for me, like they know my heart, they pour into my heart, they seek me out. So there's a definite, tangible, different level of quality of these friendships than maybe say other general friendships. I tend to call people friend because that's an intention of mine. I want them
Right.
to know that I perceive them as that, and I want to engage with them as that. But I also recognize that somebody I just meet and call friend, I'm not expecting like vulnerability and utter intimacy right away. That wouldn't
Right.
be healthy at all. But but the friendships that I have that are deep and meaningful are very important to me. So
Yes. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I agree with that 100% for me.
mhm.
There are friendships that I have that, each person provides a little bit different quality, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like there are different things that that person brings to my life. I'm probably bringing something to their life that
Mhm.
some other friendship isn't, but they have something, that kind of thing. Like I have friends who are that do help me grow closer to God, as Pastor Tim said.
Mhm.
I have friends who help me navigate relationship challenges. I have friends who just love music,
Sure.
and we bond over that.
That's your point of connection. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's great. And then finally, and this is for everyone online as well. And we have 10 minutes left, by the way. We're blasting through this question, but we can talk
No,
as
we can
much as
talk.
we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially since you preached on this topic and I did not get to hear your message.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
I would love to hear if you have
Sure.
any insight. Um, and real quick, this is Brando. We'll read what he says. Hopefully, I'm not. I'm putting this on screen before I'm reading it,
Oh my gosh.
and it's
The
Brando.
risk.
Yeah. Oh, he said, haha, afterwards. This is going to be great. Real friendships are hard to find as an adult, but real friends will make fun of you in the best
That's
ways
very
possible and laugh at you when you cry.
thoughtful.
Thank you for following up with a haha.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very Brando.
That's very on point for you.
Yes. So let's do this. In what way would you like to see growth in your friendships?
I think what like we were talking about, I think what you just kind of identified is actually really key. When we're thinking about healthy friendship, you can't be all things to your friends,
Right.
and they are not meant to be all things to you. They're not made to be that. They're not developed to be that. I would even venture to say that of your spouses as well, just to recognize that even as a really close, healthy friendship, there shouldn't be this wide pressure to say in every way that you have an interpersonal need, a social need, this person will be that for you. Like we have different relationships and different friendships because different people connect with us in different ways. Maybe they have different interests or honestly different skill sets as far as engaging you, like knowing some part of you and being able to pour into you in a particular way. And so when it comes to the ways that I'd love to see growth in these friendships that I have, um, I think it's just continuing to identify what is it about this person in your life that you feel is a very close friend and being able to say, this is why I love this person. This is how they pour into me. And to be able to celebrate that specifically with them. Because it's both, it's not saying that's the only way they can be friends with you, but it's also freeing for them in a way to say, this is what I really love. When you do this, it means so much to me.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was talking to a person recently who mentioned that they knew somebody who said that they were bad at friendships.
Mm,
I didn't get to dig into why they thought that about
sure, sure.
themselves, but there are some people who feel that way, and I wonder if you have any hope to offer someone like that.
Sure. I think that's part of why I'm kind of wanting to see people freed from this all encompassing pressure.
Mm,
Like, friendship is not a performative act, not purely.
right.
Like, it should be in a sense of like, if I know that you receive love in a certain way, or that there are particular needs that you have from your relationships because maybe you have developed a level of maturity or safety with me where you're able to say, you know, this is the way I need to receive love from people. Like, I'm thinking about our friendship. Like, I'm like, okay, I know that I need to talk with Jeff about this or check in about these things
Mhm.
and make sure this is going okay
Yeah.
because you've expressed that to me. And so when I do that, several things. I care about you, but I've listened to you
Mm,
and I am being intentional about meeting the needs that you have described. And so if there's something else you need, you just talk with me about it and I will work to shift to meet that.
yeah.
And in the same way, that requires me to say, Jeff, I'm very grateful that we are friends. And it would be helpful for me if you check in with me once in a while about that, or even just drop me a text like once a week, just to
Sure.
say, whenever you think about me,
Right.
just let me know.
Yeah.
because that speaks to my love language, if you will.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and so I think that, like, sort of in response to that question, like, it's not that you're bad at friendship. It's just that I want you to feel freed from this performative pressure.
Hmm.
Like, think about the ways that you receive love and the ways that you can love other people, and have some real honest conversations, even with one or two people, and to say, I'd love to be friends. Let's
Yeah.
figure this out, which
Mhm.
may seem awkward, but it's worth it.
Sure, absolutely. I think for me, and I don't think I'm bad at being friends. I think that, and this is something that maybe someone who thinks they are bad could look at a little deeper. I find that I am in a point in my life, a chapter of my life where it's just difficult
Sure.
to have friends because of what communication looks like for that. Or so some people have that, or some people have a lifestyle that makes it harder to have friends,
Mhm.
or close friends. So I find that I don't have time to right now with a kid at home and us scrambling around doing all kinds of stuff to make sure that he has clothes on his back and food to eat.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't have the time to put in to as many friends as I would like. I wish I had like a billion friends
Sure.
that were like close, because I love close, like intimate conversation and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But for me right now, it's just not plausible,
Sure.
um, feasible, whichever one is the right word.
Both of those work.
Good. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, so that I like this. Stephanie says this. She says, I certainly go for quality over quantity. I have
Mhm.
certainly ended friendships that weren't quality.
Sure.
When is it time to end a friendship?
So I am still, like, in a journey of defining what this is. And I think this is what's key, is that we need to free ourselves from these, like, definitions that we think are static,
Mm,
and that's exactly what this means in our life from here onward.
right,
Like, our emotional needs will develop in time. My relational needs develop. We're talking, you're not always going to have a small child in your house
right.
that can't function by themselves or make their own meals or dress themselves.
Hmm.
Like, at some point, you will have a different availability. And the same thing with me. I won't always have four kids at the stage of life that they are.
Right.
And so, to be able to kind of say, in this space and time, this is what I'm capable of. Capacity is a really wise thing to develop an awareness of in yourself, and what I'm capable of in my friendships. So, if I have a friendship with someone who I know is, like, I've been very honest with them about, I love you and I care about you, but I'm not able to hang out all the time right now,
Right.
or I'm not able to call all the time, or honestly, like, I'm also saying, this is the kind of friendships I need. Are you able to be that right now?
Right.
And you can put some friendships on pause and just say, I love you. I hope we can reconnect in a little bit. Um, but if a friend is saying, like, you've been very clear with them, like, I can't do this or I need this, and there's just a refusal to hear you,
Hmm.
it's okay to kind of say, I blessings upon your journey, in a way,
Right.
to celebrate what has been, but also recognize that this may not be working right now.
Hmm.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
We have sort of a movie montage in our heads of, like, friends are friends forever. The Lord's the Lord of them. I'm just singing good old CCM songs there, but
Yes.
but that may not be true.
Right.
It may not be true, and that doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. It just means boundaries are important, even in friendships.
Mhm. Yeah. Amazing. Someone said, unfortunately, probably watching in the Facebook group, so we can't get their name and
Okay.
picture on this, but our core group really loved this sermon. Thank you for rocking them, Adam and Tim. And then Lisa says, it speaks to where she's at in the season of life where she's an empty nester,
Mhm.
have so much time to pour into friendships. So
Yeah,
that's really
that's
cool.
beautiful.
Yep, I love that. Guys, it's about time to wrap this up. If anybody else has another comment, like really quick, I'll sneak it in here. But for now, like, here we go. Who's this? This is great. Such a fun conversation for me for many reasons. I find that later in my life, I have lost good friends for different reasons. It's painful, and I find it hard to make new friends that are more than acquaintances. Katie, hey Katie, love you. You're my friend. Um,
Feel that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. It is painful when you lose friends, even if it's not like an official loss. People just grow apart sometimes.
Sure.
I mean, sometimes ties are literally severed, but sometimes you grow apart, and it's a painful thing, and you wonder where they went.
Can I say something really
Yeah,
quickly?
please do.
So I think pandemic has really made friendship a challenge. And I
Mm,
say that I want to be clear about that because I think people have this expectation of relationship that exists pre-pandemic. And yet, um, if we have been in our houses or restrained to our ability to reach out to people, we tend to kind of draw back for survival. And I think a lot of people have kind of minimized outside engagement and even being able to engage friends in the old ways that they had. And so now that we're kind of moving, not post pandemic, but we're moving through it in a different way, people, I think you need to give yourself space to say, I need to relearn this friendship thing. I need to be intentional, maybe in ways that I wasn't before, whether it's to re engage with the friends I did have before or to reach out to new ones. Don't expect it to be like it was. It has
right.
to be something new. And that's a pretty beautiful opportunity, but it takes work, intention, and time.
Mm, that's so good. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Adam, it's always a pleasure to have you
Absolutely. Thank
on
you.
Take a Break. If you want to see our short gatherings each week, go to our Instagram page. There went my camera. You can still hear me, though, at least, I think. But go to our Instagram. I can't believe that these cameras are just dying on me today. Um, check it out, short gathering. Adam, thanks. Everyone, thanks for
Thank you.
tuning in. Bye bye.